but we can do whatever. Okay, let me know when we're... Do you want me to count down?
Go on then.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Vibes, and this is our second episode this week, and we have Mandeep.
I am here in the flesh. Welcome, guys.
Yeah, welcome. So, we've got loads of updates this week, haven't we?
Yeah, quite a few, so we're just going to get straight into it. There's a lot of in the news about this specific app called Face App, so I just want to talk about our thoughts about it. And it's personally, I'm going to be honest, it's not something I have used, but I've read the news stories about this, and I've listened to it as well, and it's a pretty cool software. Pretty
Yeah,
cool
I mean,
what it
if you want to know how you look like in your old age and how you look like as a grandpa,
yeah,
then
and it does the reversal as well for older people to see what they look like back in when they were younger. It's a fun app, definitely a fun app.
But the issue here is they're saying Russians have been collating data about our face and how we look, and I mean, how do you feel about that?
Which is it's quite funny, to be honest, but yeah, it's something that we need to be vigilant of these softwares that we use. But I mean, as a fun piece of software, yeah, it's something that we can use. But what is going on in the background is what we need to think about. How these companies using our faces, and are they selling them to other companies? Are they selling them to certain parts of the world like they are?
But then again, I don't see the problem, because we have CCTV camera everywhere. We've got cameras and traffic. I mean, there's facial recognition is something that is now becoming more and more prominent wherever we go. There are calls from governments that such technology needs to be more tightly regulated.
Yes.
But is there really an issue? I mean, to be honest, if my face was given to the Russians, I mean, I don't have an issue with it. But
true. In that essence, you're right. I mean, we are literally photographed and videoed constantly as we're walking down the street. There's so many cameras around. So, like you stated, in the US, there's a lot of states that are tightly controlling how the government uses facial recognition software. But I mean, it's out there. It's something that we're part of this new era of technology that it's going to be everywhere that we see. And
I mean, we are all about data sharing.
Exactly. I'm still coming to the point where we're still waiting for the Minority Report days, where we walk past a shop and our face recognizes who we are and sees, oh, we've got the latest tech that you might be interested in, the latest clothes that you might be interested in that comes about.
I don't think we are far away.
We're not far away. But yeah, it's something that people need to think about if it's the right way that we need to go forward to.
Cool. But then again, these apps, I mean, if it is a huge concern, they need to be regulated more. And the fact that it's somehow bypassed Apple checks and Google checks or whatever kind of checks, I mean, that is a little bit worrying.
I mean, it probably goes to show Google and Apple haven't got the extensive checks that they have for... Well, they probably need to streamline and change their checks to make them a bit more in-depth. There's probably just a lot of things that they're missing that they're working out only now.
But then again, we've got situations where banks and software will do facial recognition to let you go in. So this is going to be a big thing. Yeah. I think it could be a massive vulnerability if we start using facial recognition to use particular systems like banking or whatnot.
Yeah.
But definitely really interesting, and I was quite surprised that it was captured in the wild. So the next thing, Instagram hiding how many likes are given.
Yeah.
About time.
I think this is great news. This is great news. There's so much pressure on people and how they should be in certain ways, and I mean, majority of what you see in Instagram is fake anyway.
Yeah.
You see these people posting pictures of them in situations, but really they've taken 300 snaps just to get the one photo perfect. And I think Instagram is sort of taking over our lives just to get that perfect picture.
Yeah, I know, but you've got Facebook, you've got other mediums where people are talking about likes. I mean, I'll give you a good example. I've got a friend who, if they don't get a particular like on their picture, or if somebody gets more likes than somebody else, then we have they start going, oh my god, I haven't got enough likes,
Yeah,
or no one's liked my picture, or this person has more likes of their dog than me, and I don't understand. It's just so silly.
I think this is where for children in school is something that they need to look at, especially when it comes to popularity contests between people and so forth. Certain social structure you've got to fit in, and I'm sure they look at how many likes you get and so forth. Taking this away, I think it's a definite benefit for the generation that's up and coming, for them to not have this peer pressure amongst themselves. It's definitely a good thing. I think it's the right step, and I think other companies should definitely follow suit.
Yeah, but then again, there's an argument to this story where a lot of businesses, a lot of people out there rely on these likes to get sponsorship and so forth. So if these sponsors cannot see a like, are we going to see a death of these particular curators that rely on such information?
I think there should be a separation between personal pictures and personal, in terms of, like, I'm talking about people in poses and models and so forth. In terms of that, separating that from businesses, people should remove the likes for them personal photos and having likes. If you've got a business section for that business page, you've got to post everything you have on that business side, which I know all of these social media do have actual business profiles. If you want to promote your business, you need to be on that business profile. Then you can receive them likes.
Yeah, no, which I get.
Personal side of things, there shouldn't be.
I mean, there was an argument on the radio the other day as I was driving back, and I heard that somebody was saying, well, people should have the functionality to turn that feature on and off. But the problem is, because people are so engrossed in having these likes, having that option is not going to help. So yeah, I think this is definitely the step in the right direction.
Yeah, you're right.
I do think that we need to just rein it back in. I think that this is really, personally, I think this is blown out of proportions. And I know that the younger generation, children, are affected by this. Bullying happens from this. And,
exactly.
You know, if we can control social media more, I think this is the right step.
Yeah, I mean, it's the right way of regulating it, definitely. Yeah, it's something that I do feel we need to try and have that boundary in this like structure. So yeah, we'll see how it performs and how it goes out there.
Yeah, so definitely something to look out for. Let us know how you feel about likes being hidden. You know, has it affected you in any way? So the next thing, Verizon releasing its first ever 5G hotspot in the US for $650.
That's ridiculous. You just think that's not even including the monthly payments that you've got to make on top of that for the contract. This is just the device itself. It's just crazy.
But I mean, why don't you just get a 5G phone and just hotspot?
Exactly.
Just absolutely ludicrous. I mean,
so this shows like starting off 5G is going to be expensive. A lot of devices that you're going to get. I mean, at the moment, yeah, you can get the phone, you can get the contracts, which are a lot cheaper. But I think these companies want to try and feed into the home broadband market as well.
But the problem is people are going to get the usual home broadband compared to this.
Exactly. I mean, personally, I'm not going to spend £650 for a router which I can get free from a home broadband provider and give me home broadband. But again, it's all to do with how much speed you can get. And I know in my area myself, I can't get a huge amount of speed on my ADSL connection.
Right.
But through 5G, we'll see how fast that becomes.
But then, could you really warrant the cost?
No, not in this situation. No way.
No. I mean, I have a 5G phone, as you know. I'm with the EE, and who are launching their own home broadband system. Even that's expensive. Yeah. You only get like 20 gigs for like nearly £70 a month.
They're reining that in as well, the mobile data, how much you get. A lot of companies are trying to launch it and then they give you 50 gigs or a certain amount. You can easily go through that.
Oh, easily.
Especially if you're having the amount of devices in a house, everyone's using it in your home, you'll go through that.
It is. It is just unusual. But it is crazy. I think the pricing's crazy. I think, I just can't warrant it. And I think things like this is going to stifle the growth of 5G. I mean, let's continue with the growth of 5G. It's on hold in the UK right now with the whole Huawei situation. It's not really gone off for it on a strong start, has it? Really?
I mean, we still got. I think the next few months is gonna pick up on a lot of companies in the UK are gonna start launching their home broadband side of things, but they're still waiting to launch in other cities. Um, I mean, yeah, once you get in the cities, it's about the rural areas. Is what I want to
Yeah.
see, because there's so many sections of the UK which you literally at the moment still don't get no mobile signal.
Well, it's the same in the US, the same everywhere else in the world as well. You'll get pockets where you will not get a signal.
Yeah,
You know what are we going to do about that? But again, this goes back to the argument about Instagram and the likes. Like, do we really want to be a world that's that connected?
we are. I mean, we're going to connect everywhere. I mean, it's. I mean, if we want to go ahead, and this is the next point that we're going to say, the London Underground is going to have full connectivity, 4G at the moment up until starting of 2025. So they're going to start rolling it out next year. But pretty much
But
connectivity
4G and not
everywhere.
5G in that year. That's what really confuses me.
That's what I don't. That's what I don't understand either. Maybe could be speeds, could be. I'm not sure. It's got to be a lot of research that they've done for this. Maybe at the moment, in terms of expenditure, it's got
Yeah.
to be probably a huge cost to put any 5G.
But then, do you know what really worries me
master
about
around.
this is that I know that, and I don't know if you've ever been on the London tubes. It can be slightly antisocial, but we're going to become even more antisocial because we'll have data to stream videos, or people are just going to bump into each other because they're not looking up.
I mean, to be honest, I mean the London Underground is it's not a friendly place. Everyone just keeps themselves to themselves. So I mean, a majority of people have their headphones in nowadays anyway. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it will affect that much in those kind of situations. I mean, it is good to have some sort of connectivity to make them crucial phone calls that you need to make. But yeah,
but you were arguing about Wi-Fi. Why isn't there Wi-Fi throughout the entire?
That's true. I mean, you can make phone calls via Wi-Fi anyway. So why is it not just? I'm sure they can save a bit of money, but just putting Wi-Fi hotspots around every single tube train in the underground.
Well,
around
listen, we
stations.
can do we can do internet over the electricity, and you could do that over the homes with the home plugs and so forth. But yet we can't do that on the tubes that have electricity on the tubes of the trains.
Yeah.
I mean, I find it a bit.
I think we're sort of behind the times at the moment. This is something that should have happened a good 10 years ago, and it's only sort of now been discussed, which is odd. And if you go to certain stations, yeah, you might get a Wi-Fi signal.
But you still can't do anything with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
which is just ridiculous.
So yeah, public transportation, use of Wi-Fi, having mobility, still a long way to go.
Yeah.
But definitely, great to see. I guess the tube system getting it after so many years.
Yeah, definitely so many years. But going back to the home market, I mean, with 5G, I mean, we'll find out more in the next 12 months or so how much is picked up, especially it growing into the home market if they start competing with the home broadband providers and providing lower costs. It's good competition to be in, really. It's a good competition for the end consumer. I know myself, if I can get a faster signal with 5G, if they can reduce the cost, I will jump ship.
Yeah.
But,
I get that. But then 4G speeds aren't that bad if you look at LTE plus is what they call it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get up to 100 megabits. I mean, again, how much speed do you really need?
True. I mean, it probably comes down to gaming and devices, programs and so forth that you want to download them.
This is all about streaming and gaming, isn't it? Essentially,
exactly.
that is what it boils down to.
It always comes back to it, guys. Every time we always come back to streaming and gaming.
Streaming and gaming are the two things that we always come back to.
It's such a massive thing that's happening in the next 12 months. That's going to be huge. So you heard it here first.
Yeah, definitely. So now, talking about gaming, new Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
A new, I can't really say a portable version, maybe? It's a lighter version.
Yes, it's a lighter version. It's smaller screen, is it? I can't.
No, I think screen,
but it's just screens all in one.
But you can't dock it into a TV, so it's purely handheld.
You can't remove the controllers. So any two players that you were going to play with someone else, you can't now. It's just
you need to buy separate controllers, don't you?
Yeah, that's the only thing.
But do you think that's a good idea? I personally think it is, because how often, and if you have a Nintendo Switch, please do let us know, but how often do you give another controller to somebody else?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely good. It's hitting the Nintendo DS market. Do we need a DS anymore? So
not really.
What is a DS going to do that the Switch can't do now. But the Switch is obviously better graphics and so forth.
But the
The
only thing
DS
that
has a second screen. That's about it,
See, the
really.
only thing that really annoys me is the fact that we've invested, or people have invested money into a DS games or etc. I'd like to have some backward compatibility. And at this
True.
moment right now, I think Microsoft and Steam are the only two that I can think of where you can play your catalog.
Yeah, definitely.
But
I
you
think
can't on other platforms
I
properly.
think what Switch has been out for the last 2 years now. I think there's so much that they can do in terms of backwards compatibility. They need to spend more time remastering these games and put them on Switch.
However, Nintendo have admitted that they need to jump onto the whole cloud streaming game
Yeah,
bandwagon. So
which again come back to our point that we said previously. They've joined a partnership with Microsoft.
yeah,
So yeah, hopefully that pushes forward soon. But yeah, I think they need to put something out there. I think this console they'll hope people were hoping for something big. Again, they've launched a newer version of the Switch as well, the actual main Switch with a bigger battery. That's it. And they were thinking there's going to be bigger
yeah,
steps that they're
but
going to do.
again, do we really need to buy a console when we can now stream? This is where the argument now is. It's just like, are we now moving to hardware? Because before the time we used to queue up for the hardware, we wanted the hardware, but now everything's so software driven that your TV. So I have an Android Sony TV at home, and when Stadia comes out, I just play through my TV. I don't need to buy an
Yes.
additional
So,
hardware or kit. I just got a controller.
so one thing I read about Stadia today was that they're going to launch the pay monthly subscription, but the basic subscription doesn't include any games.
No, you have to
You
buy the
still have to
games.
buy the games separately.
Yeah,
Whereas Microsoft games are included.
with Game Pass,
Yeah, with
yes.
Game Pass they included. So which is odd. So they say we're not launching a Netflix of games. So why charge us what $8.99 for the basic subscription if you're not going to include any games?
Yeah.
What is that? Just signing up for a Google account? What? That really makes no sense. They have included that they will provide one game per month under your subscription, but again, that's not included in the light subscription. That's in the advanced subscription, which is
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think Google have a good idea, but I think their execution right now is poor, and they need to go back and review what gamers actually really want.
Yeah, exactly. Personally, what I would love to have in streaming side of things is when I've got internet connection, I want to be able to stream, but at the same time, I want to have the option to download the game, maybe an hour's worth of play that I can have just in
Yeah.
certain locations where I can't get no signal. Or
Yeah.
again, this is going back to being on the underground where you may not have no signal at this moment in time. You might want to play, which you
So
stream
my
in your car.
question is do you think Netflix should actually make a gaming platform
They
that
should
just
do.
streams?
They should do. They've got how many subscribers? 100 million around the world,
Yeah,
or more than that.
just add another
Great.
$10 on top, have a back end,
Yeah,
off you go.
I don't see why they can't. They could do something. You
Yeah,
never know.
so definitely something. I mean, if this happens, you heard it here first.
Yeah,
so,
or Netflix, if you're listening, go for it.
yeah, really, I think there needs to be a
They've,
push.
they've got such a massive user base. It's a shame not for them to just do something and go for that. Really.
Yeah, and then talking about new hardware, I'm going to jump to Apple, reportedly to give up on its controversial keyboard, finally, after
Yeah.
4 iterations.
Oh, these keyboards are poor. I mean, we ourselves, the amount we have to go through trying to get them repaired as well. They are so poor.
No, they're more than poor, and it's obviously caused Apple a lot of headaches. It's caused people a lot of headaches. It's caused companies headaches because
People have launched lawsuits against Apple and the consumers have launched lawsuits against Apple for their keyboards, which is just
but 4
crazy.
times they've tried this design. Now, is this the case of we were waiting for Johnny to leave Apple so that they could put a new design?
Yeah.
Was he the
One
The
that's stopping
roadblock.
it. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
So a lot of stuff happening. But talking about changes, Apple are going to bring back the multicolored Apple.
Yes.
It looks slightly different, but the color's coming back.
That'll be pretty good. I'll be looking forward to see that actually.
I mean, a bit of nostalgic
Yeah.
colors back in the logo.
Back in the days.
Yeah.
Bring a bit of old school vibe back.
Yeah, old
be
school vibes.
Personally, I don't think they'll launch it on every device. It'll probably in certain,
It'll be
probably
special
on their
limited
website
edition.
and so things.
Yeah.
Yeah, limited edition. Yeah.
So yeah, but interesting. I mean,
But-
I am glad that Apple are looking into that. I think the next thing that they need to look into. I mean, all right. There's 2 wish lists. right, that I have.
Okay.
Number one, better ventilation, so I can make most of the CPU and GPU that's in the Macs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Number two,
100% for that.
going the opposite way. So everybody's copying Apple having everything integrated and soldered on, but going the opposite way and having interchangeable parts
On laptops, you're
on
talking about, on
laptops.
actual
And
MacBooks.
So,
I mean, that should be good. I mean,
like hot swappable GPU,
yes.
hot swappable.
I'm surprised no company's actually done that at the moment. They're trying to put everything, soldered, like you said, into one device. I mean, the most simplest thing I would love to have is to be able to take the battery out and put a new one in. Just the basic.
Yeah, even on phones.
Why did they?
Even on phones.
Phones, I miss the days you can take the plastic cover off at the back, remove the battery, buy a simple one from Amazon or anywhere that you want from a shop, put it back in, and you've got a device with an amazing battery again, back from day one, and you're good to go. But
then again,
why?
I don't know. I don't get it.
I mean, the thing I find at the moment, they're trying to make the back of the phone look amazing. Oh, this snazzy color, this amazing metal. But
the Nokia 32. Wait. The Nokia 3210 looked amazing by changing covers.
True, but then 95% of people around the world will just put a cover on the back. You won't see it. So what is the point?
Mind you,
Why not put a plastic cover that you can remove?
Talking about covers, I've actually decided not to put any screen protectors or covers on my phone for a little while.
It does
Let's see how that goes.
It does look good though.
It does look amazing. However, surprisingly enough, and obviously you were playing around with it last week, is the glass back isn't as slippery as we were thinking it was.
It feels like it's actually pretty good compared to actual certain cases that you put on. Certain cases are probably more slippery. Slippery.
Slippery. That's a new word of the day.
There you go.
Yeah.
Slippy.
Wow, but is slippy even a word?
I don't know.
Let us know.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
True.
I think the only phone that I find that does slip out your hand without any covers is actually the Pixel.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know if they need to look into the design of the back end of that,
it's the Pixel 3 which has the
It is glass, but it's just kind of.
It's just like it's weird. I don't know, just covered.
Matted glass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Covered in certain.
But talking about phones, Pixel 4. Yes. I was saying I imagine it having a gesture control with a camera where you can just imagine if
pinch with your fingers.
Yeah, pinch with your finger.
Something you showed me a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they're actually talking about launching it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rumours about this, and they've shown the shape of the actual device, and there's a cutout at the top right hand corner, which apparently is the sensors for the gesture control. It's good in terms of new tech.
We were having an argument that
we were literally about 10 minutes ago.
No, I think it's amazing, right? So I was saying, just imagine having your phone faced up on a table, and then I'm listening to music, and instead of touching anything, I could just kind of in thin air signal I want music to be louder. But then you were saying, well, who puts the phone on the table these days?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have it on it'll be in their hands or in their pocket. So in the pocket, it's obviously useless. You can't use no gesture controls. You would actually try and feel through, press the buttons to turn the volume up, or if you've got Bluetooth headphones and you've got volume controls, you would do that anyway. But if you've got it in your hands, your natural fingers will point to the actual buttons themselves. So the first thing you do, put the volume up. Your fingers are on the actual buttons themselves. So you press that. You're not going to then hold it in one hand and then use your other hand to use a gesture control, which defeats the object. You've got it in your hand anyway, so you press the button.
Yeah, no, I see where you're coming from. But however, it does depend on the range. I mean, if you put it on a standing wireless device,
yeah,
and from a distance you're twiddling your fingers.
Like you said, it depends on the range. If it's only less than
5 centimeters.
Yeah, 5 centimeters.
Yeah, forget it.
What's the point?
But still, it is interesting because it will give birth to. Just imagine if you're watching TV, you can just wave your hand in midair and put the volume up or down.
Personally, I think Google has never launched a TV, have they?
No, they haven't.
They should launch a TV with the gesture control.
Google, if you're listening to us, consider making a TV.
Just go for it, because that'd be amazing. If you could do gesture controls on the TV,
built-in video calling.
Yeah, exactly. With a webcam
built in,
maybe a slight bezel around the sides with a small webcam in there. You can speak to put up with Google Assistant through the TV.
Now in the UK we got a program called Gogglebox.
Oh yeah.
Do you know? But again, we come back to the whole facial recognition, information going into the internet. Are people seeing what we're doing in our homes?
True.
I mean, this is a bit of a weird scenario that we're in here.
I mean, this is coming back to everyone talking about how Alexa, the Google Assistant, and so forth, are actually listening in onto our day-to-day conversations, even though before you actually say Alexa or OK Google. But
I mean, talking about that, funny enough, we're looking to replace the front door in our house, and we've been talking about it. And my mum opens up her phone on Facebook. She hasn't searched for anything, and she's getting adverts for doors on her phone all of a sudden. That's quite freaky.
It is strange because the same thing happened to my wife. We're talking about something, and the next thing you know, she pulls up Facebook and says, "We just literally spoke about this." I'm in an orange thinking, no, you must have typed something in, or I've typed something on my laptop. But that hasn't been the scenario. It's literally been a conversation we had 5 minutes earlier. She pulls out her phone and just, it's the same thing we're talking about. It's on there, which is so weird.
Yeah, so it is a bit odd. I find it odd, and maybe and then maybe the listeners are thinking, "God, these two are going on some weird conspiracy theory." But I've actually experienced it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you guys, if you just Google this and just read about it, there's a lot of aspects around this. But yeah, apparently our smart speakers are listening to us constantly. But I mean,
again, is it such an issue?
Yeah.
I mean, do we have anything to hide?
No, I mean, definitely we don't have nothing to hide. I mean, when we want to speak to Alexa, speak to Google, ask them a certain question, they reply back.
But is privacy now? I mean,
we live in a connected society. Like going back to when we're walking down the street, our images, pictures so many times.
Yeah.
Nothing is private anymore. We're constantly putting our lives on social media. Nothing is private.
No, nothing is private.
The only way to come off it is live in a rural area where you don't have nothing.
Yeah, but even then you probably have satellites spying on you then.
True,
so,
that's true.
You know.
Guys, just find another planet.
Yeah. Oh well, it's been a good week for planets. I mean, we were talking about the moon landing, and we've been celebrating that.
That's been pretty good for the last couple of weeks or so.
And then talking about that, storming Area 51. What's that all about?
Wow, you heard about that? 1 million odd people. I think it's a joke that they said, but even a US government said, someone tweeted said, we will use lethal force if needed, which is crazy. But at the end of the day, if 1 million people turn up, they're not going to shoot them all.
But you were saying, and I thought it's a wicked idea, and wicked being a UK term, wicked. Is having an Area 51 tourist area.
I mean, they should do that.
Like just have like a little tour. Like, obviously you don't show everything, but you show little snippets.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of money that they'll probably get for that as a tourist attraction.
Oh.
So for all our US listeners, would you be interested in having a tour of Area 51?
Yeah. If anyone lives close by, can you just pop down as well and just take a lot of pictures while you're there?
Yeah.
To see what's there.
But no, definitely. Now, as we're talking about phones, cameras.
Cameras, yeah.
And this square design.
Yeah.
Pixel are doing it, Apple are doing it. Are they onto something? It looks ugly, but are they onto something?
Yeah, it's got to be a reason why. I mean, both of the major companies are following suit. The way I saw it with the phone, with the iPhone, is they've got the 3 camera lenses, and a lot of companies have put them in a straight line, but these have put them in basically like a triangle shape. But when they've put the border around it, it comes out like a square on the back of the phone. But yeah, there's got to be a reason behind that middle camera being at a slight angle away from the other two. With the Google Pixel, they put in a square as well, but they put the 2 camera lenses next to each other. But
but the thing is, with Google, they did very well with 1 camera. 2, they'll do even more amazing. But it's just
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
looking forward to how.
But it's just that layout. I'm just very intrigued on what makes it so different from the other layouts.
At the end of the day, if they launch it and it becomes big and it's a reason why and it works well, every other company's going to follow suit.
Oh, of course they are.
Yeah.
Of course they are. I mean, everybody's been copying Apple for a while. And now you got other manufacturers trying to beat Google in the camera front. Yeah. And Google was all software rather than hardware.
Yeah.
I mean, I sent you a picture a couple of nights ago of Night Sight.
Yeah. Amazing.
That was literally a night and day difference.
Yeah. Crazy how you can see in the dark with a minimal amount of light. Even your eyes can't even see that, and then it comes out with just such a clear picture.
I'm going to be honest, sometimes I look at that picture and I'm just in awe of what the phone was able to do.
Again, that's all software.
I mean, no need to have flashes in your eyes or red eyes.
I love their advert that I've got on TV at the moment, which is literally in dark situations they take pictures and they say, instead of using your flash, and people got, yeah, like you said, red eye, and they've got these people hanging around trying to take pictures and
Squinting,
they're
yeah.
squinting, yeah, and then they just take
But I
nice
think
light
that,
pictures.
but then
So much better.
for the Pixel 3 owners out there, they're going to release 6.3. It's in beta. You can play around with that, which will allow night sight on the front cameras to be a lot more stronger.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a potential game changer.
Game changer, yeah.
It's just a shame that no one's going to like it anymore. I can't see how many likes, but hey.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
But no, it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that.
But it's, I mean, where we are, I think this year, next year, is going to be a very interesting time. I mean, we keep on saying it, but I think there's so much happening in the world of tech.
Yeah.
AI is now becoming an even bigger thing. I mean, okay, quickly, the Microsoft conference and what we saw there.
Yeah, that was good.
So there's been a conference that Microsoft have done. I know I'm a Microsoft fanboy, but it's just the tech that I really like. So, for example, the whiteboard, where they had a camera pointing at the whiteboard. A woman
that was brilliant.
Then walks in front of the whiteboard, but you can still see the text and everything.
Yeah. So the woman becomes transparent, and you can see the whiteboard more than you can see the woman. You see the shadow outline of the woman.
Yeah, and as she's drawing, that then gets converted into a note where everybody can actually work on. That's available right now,
which is great.
And then we had the other one, which had the VR woman, where she's talking in English and it just translates that to Japanese. Hologram image. Well,
which is they've got great tech.
But the thing is, again, we're coming to a world where we won't see real versions of each other. One day I'm just going to see a hologram version of you. You're going to see a hologram version of me.
Exactly. We won't be in the same office. We won't even work in the office. Work from home, and then if anyone comes about with any issues, we can try and help them.
Well, I'm hoping to work from Mars when we finally get that done. But
next 12 months, yeah. But yeah, no. So it's definitely a fun time to be in tech at the moment. So every day there's new things launching, new things coming about. And
it's why we've had to do this podcast every 2 weeks, because we could do a podcast every day at this rate. Honestly,
exactly. There's so much happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely a good period. The next 12 to 24 months, we'll see a major amount, especially in connectivity as well. How we're always going to be connected. And,
cars going to be connected, watches, washing machines, fridges.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and then talk about connectivity, and we'll probably talk about this in more detail in another podcast. But you know, Elon Musk's having our brains connected.
Yeah.
But we will go over that, because we don't know too much about it. Yeah. It's a new thing, but
it's something he's looking into at the moment. They've spent a lot of money into that tech.
Weirdly enough, and this is just a random fact I'm going to throw in, about 15 years ago, roughly, give or take, Microsoft actually had a patent for the human being a wireless transmitter.
I think I did read about this years back here. But
so again, could this be the case of we're using our bodies as antennas? But again, you were saying we are the guinea pigs.
Yeah, in this generation, we are the guinea pigs in terms of this whole... these radio waves, these waves that are going through our bodies constantly in terms of wireless signals, connectivity signals, everything basically, and we are the guinea pigs of this generation. We'll find out in the next
50 odd years,
20, 30 years time to find out how it's affected us. But
the question is will we ever come to a point, and now that we fight about climate change, are we ever going to hit a point where we're going to say, we've done so much with tech that's harmed us, we need to cull back on it?
Yeah, I mean,
we don't know what's going to happen.
I mean, at the end of the day, this whole rollout on 5G, a lot of I mean, we've got Belgium at the moment that have restricted 5G rollouts until they can get a better understanding of how it's going to affect the human body. I mean, there's so many for and against arguments that you can read about. A lot of companies have done their research already, and they said there's no harm at all. But at the end of the day, no one knows. No one knows. No one can write yes or no what's going to happen. We'll find out.
Yeah,
that's all we can say. We'll find out.
And hopefully we still got this podcast. And we're around saying this has happened to us, or this hasn't happened to us.
Hopefully the world doesn't turn into Walking Dead. That's the main thing.
yeah. But I think that's all we've got for this week.
Yeah, that's it really. But anything that you guys want us to talk about, let us know.
I mean, this is our second podcast. I mean, we've had again a massive shout out to Ruby for the podcast where we cover about women in tech, and her journey as well, which is such an interesting listen. So if you haven't heard that podcast, please do have a listen to that.
Definitely do. Thanks,
It's
Ruby,
been
for that.
a great interview, and we're looking to do more of that. So
Yeah.
so
it's good to have anyone else that wants to come by and have a topic to talk about. It'd be great to hear your comments
yeah,
and your
and
thoughts on it.
we are willing enough to talk to anybody and everybody out there who wants to be part of this, who's got a view to share. If you're a gamer, you can talk about your experience.
Yeah.
If you're someone in the medical field about these waves, I mean, please do reach out to us. But your love and your actual support for this podcast has been amazing. And but from the both of us, seriously, we do want to say thank you.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Thank you so much for all of your support. But yeah, we just want to keep this going, keep the energy flowing. But yeah,
cool.
Keep us with your comments.
Yeah, so thank you very much, and we shall catch you next time.
Yeah,
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.